choose suitable times so that you don't miss prayer times. You should be considerate to her, and you should always, always, always consider her feelings. If she's tired, if she's sick, if she emotionally, mentally, or physically does not feel like it, that's her right not to feel like it. Don't push her. And in relation to this, you should avoid disclosing private information. Matters between a husband and wife should stay between a husband and wife. Now, obviously, a wife may want to go to her parents to seek information about an issue. A husband may do the same. That's normal. That's acceptable. That happens. But don't share private information with your friends, with extended family. Especially talking about things that happen in the bedroom. That's just filthy. Keep that between husband and wife only. And guys, you are obligated to help your wife in obedience to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. If it is in your habit, wake her up in the last of the night to play Qiyamul Layl, which is the extra prayer done at night. Do that. Do that if you can. Wake her up. You should compete with each other, husband and wife, to wake up for Fajr and wake each other up. And my wife's rolling her eyes at me right now. I guess she didn't hear the part earlier where I said that it's her obligation to help a man, even if it takes throwing water on his face. So, you should teach your wife whatever you know in the way of Qur'an and Hadith. You should teach her dhikr, which is the ways of remembering of Allah, in the ways that the Prophet Muhammad had given, in the morning, in the evening, all during the day. You should encourage her to spend her money for the sake of Allah, such as in charity, and not to fear doing so. You should take her for Hajj and Umrah as soon as you can afford to do so. Whenever the opportunity presents itself, Hajj is your first obligation. Now, I want to deviate for just a second here, because I had a real troubling interview that I saw. A brother and sister with their family was being interviewed in the United States. They had come from Egypt to go to Disney World. Disney World. And they were able to do all that, and they had not made their Hajj. I'm really troubled by that on many, many levels. But suffice it to say, if you can afford to do Hajj, if you are given the opportunity to perform Hajj and Umrah, that is your obligation. Leave Disney World for later. We never know when our last day will be. Do you want to go before Allah and say, well, I was going to do the Hajj, but the kids wanted to see Mickey Mouse? Come on. If you can do it, do it. It's your obligation as a husband to provide this avenue for your wife as soon as you're able. So, you should show respect for her family and friends. This involves taking her to visit the family and relatives, inviting them to visit her, and welcome them into your home. Give them presents on special occasions. Help them when they need things. Keep good relations with her family even after her death. Also, in this case, the husband is encouraged to follow the Sunnah and keep giving what she used to give in her life to her friends and family. That means if, Allah forbid, if your wife passes on before you do, and she had a habit of providing a certain thing to her close friends and family during her life, it is the Sunnah of the Prophet to continue giving this exact same thing under the exact same circumstances. The only exception that I will mark on this, because we did talk about interreligious marriages last night between a Muslim and non-Muslim. If the act that the wife did incorporates a level of shirk, which is also, dealing with a religious celebration that is not Islamic. I would strongly discourage you from doing that. However, I would strongly encourage you to keep good relations to the family during this time and turn it into an opportunity for dawah, so that Insh'Allah they would become Muslim. There's never really an excuse to engage in acts of shirk, not even to defend yourself. Now, in Islamic training and admonition, you should learn and understand and share with your wife not only the basics of Islam, but what her duties and rights are. Don't be the haram police here. Okay? Don't go running around to your wife. No, that's haram, that's haram, that's haram, that's haram. No. Help her to understand everything. And when you talk about her duties, when you sit here and say, oh, a wife is obligated to do this, a wife is obligated to do that, don't forget to tell her, guys, what her rights are upon you as a husband and what you are required to do for her. You should help her. If she does not know how to read and write, it is your obligation, men. It is your obligation. I don't care what culture tells you. Islam tells you that it is your obligation to make sure that your wife is fully capable of reading and writing. You should encourage her to attend lessons and halakhas. Any Islamic instruction for your wives and daughters, if you prohibit your wives and daughters from attending Islamic instruction, that is a sin upon you. You must do so. Now, you should also assist her in learning Islamic rules related to women. As we said before, all the Islamic rights, the rituals, the obligations upon women, the rights that women have in all aspects. It's your duty to provide her with all that information and to help her understand it all. You should purchase Islamic books and tapes for the home library. Don't just say, oh yeah, you can learn what you want. No, no, no. Take an active part. You must take an active part yourself as a Muslim. It's always the Islamic tenet to seek knowledge. So, seek knowledge and help your wife to gain knowledge as well. And there is admirable jealousy. Now, don't be a green-eyed monster. Don't be jealous of every person that she talks to. But there's jealousy in these forms. Ensure that your wife is wearing proper hijab before leaving the house. Now that means, guys, that you have to provide her with the correct clothes, with the correct accoutrements, the correct accessories, the scarves, all that stuff, and you have to encourage her in a pleasing way. If you just order your wife and order your daughter, you must wear hijab, but you don't explain to them why it's important, they won't do it. I can't blame them. There's no coercion in matters of religion. There is never a coercion in matters of religion. So we have to remember, men, help your wives to learn why these things are important. Create an environment that's enjoyable for your wives and daughters to participate in the ritual of hijab. Outside of hijab, you should restrict free mixing with non-mahram men. That means that if there is an opportunity for her to learn something and there is going to be a high number of men floating around, then you should try to accompany her or send another relative mahram with her so that she is free from scandal, so that no rumors can get started up, so that she can be free from being attacked, these sorts of things. It's your responsibility to look after her. You should not let your wife go to events and then interrogate her on everybody that she talked to when she went. If you don't go with her, then you need to make sure that she is cared for, she is provided for, so that there is no risk of scandal upon her. Don't analyze every word and sentence she says and overload her speech with meanings that she did not give. You should always prevent her from going out of the house for unnecessary reasons. That means that what that means, and I want to clarify